So I'm a really big fan of indie films, but the mainstream services don't really cater to that audience and don't have any of the films I'm looking for. So I thought I would make a new streaming app for indie films, and I started using Cursor to build out that app. And I built the app I had in mind by vibe coding it, but now I want to really deploy it. But Cursor and other app builders are focused on the app itself, not the infrastructure for the app. But I like building my app in Cursor. Cursor is great, and I'd like to build it without leaving Cursor.
So, looking for solutions, I found this tool called Insideout by Luther, and it's an agent that you can install in your own personal Cursor environment, and it configures with you and deploys your infrastructure for you, and then you can manage your infrastructure there too.
I can continue to build my app and have the right infrastructure that matches my app and its requirements, especially as it scales. So let's go over how to install Insideout. It's really easy. Go to Settings, and then we're going to go to Tools and MCP, add a custom MCP, and then right here, we're going to add these 2 lines of code, just like that. Save it, and here it is. You can see it's loaded all the tools, enabled the prompt, and that's Insideout set up in Cursor. Okay, so now let's just go through the process of building your infrastructure using Insideout. I've opened the AI window in Cursor here, and I'm going to ask, help me deploy my infra with Insideout. And it says, tell me a bit about the app you're building. I'm building an indie film streaming app. I only care about video streaming for the prototype, and I'd like to use S3 for storage. So I've told it what the important features are, what it does, and any components that I want to use, I'm saying beforehand. Let's see what it says. Okay, and it's come back to us with some suggested features. So we've got high quality video streaming, so no buffering. We've got a simple film catalog, so you can browse films, basic user access, and content delivery focused on fast loading. So this looks good. No tweaks, let's proceed to the design. So it's asking us to start with the first feature, let's proceed. And suggested S3 for our storage, and CloudFront for our content delivery. Seems good, that sounds like it will support high quality video streaming. Let's proceed to media asset management. Okay, for data storage, for the film metadata storage, suggested Amazon DynamoDB, and for compute, AWS Lambda. Any questions or tweaks? Actually, I do have a question. Why use Dynamo when we already have S3? Let's see what it says. Okay, so DynamoDB is better for metadata searches because it's faster and it's got better organization. Okay, I see. So let's stick with both and let's proceed. Okay, for additional security, so content delivery is smooth, suggested AWS Firewall and Origin Access Control. This looks good, let's proceed to the next feature. And suggested simple API gateway as the front door to the app. Let's move on to the next feature. Okay, and AWS Cognito will handle our user management for a simple email sign-in. This looks good for the prototype. Let's proceed. And here's a full stack summary, which looks good. Now we can move on to configuring specific details. And here are the app specs summarized. So 500 gigabytes storage, hosted US East, and the cost strategy is to minimize fixed monthly costs, which is great for our prototype. And you can adjust here, but I'm just going to move to the configuration details. And here's the full stack configuration. So we've got our metadata database on demand, so we have no idle cost. We've configured Cognito for email sign-in. We've got logs for troubleshooting. This all looks great. So we can now get a monthly cost estimate. Okay, and here's our monthly cost estimate. It's going to be about $120 per month. Most of that comes from video delivery, which makes sense for our streaming service. And you can see that we have very low fixed costs. That's based on an estimated amount of traffic, but if it's lower than that, we're going to have lower costs. And here you can set a maximum budget or tweak the configuration to lower costs, but I'm ready to generate the Terraform files. So let's generate those. And our Terraform files are ready. So you can view your Terraform files by saving them. So let's save. And the files have saved now. And you can view them here. So by default, the folder is called Insideout Infra. And you can view all the Terraform files for your project, broken down by module. So for example, Dynamo. And here's the Terraforms for Dynamo for your infrastructure. Okay, that's where you can see your Terraforms. You can read through all of those, and once you're happy with them, you can come back and deploy your infrastructure. This will take about 15 minutes. I'm going to deploy now, and I'll see you once it's done. Okay, so we're back after it's finished deploying, and I just want to show you one aspect of managing your infrastructure from within Cursor using Insideout. So let's say I want to check on the status of my S3 buckets. What's the status of my S3 buckets? And here we go. It's identified which S3 bucket is mine, it's active, it exists, and it tells me how to find it. So now I can go back to Cursor and continue vibe coding my app. I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.